Put this over here, leg goes over here. Now, where we sit down, if I sit down very, very transverse to him, which looks nice and symmetrical, there's actually lots of room for him to move. So if you do a hitchhiker walk around there, there's actually lots of opportunity for him walking. There's also, if you were to drop your elbow down and get your knees to the ground and come up, there's a lot of ability for him to move into. So this is turning into more of an intermediate class, which I like, and I think you guys hopefully will benefit. So in this armbar scenario here again, as I go over here and I decide to go to the ground, I'm actually about 60 degrees. I haven't measured it. It might be 45 degrees. It might even be, you can even armbar someone like this, which is, I don't know, 10 degrees. Someone got a protractor? All right, now the reason I do it like this is because I can grab here. And when we grab here, it stops him, number one, walking away from me, or if he walks away, I follow him. Number two, trying to get his knees to the ground and turning into me. I can just delay this. So, shall we practice that? It's just a tweak. If you think that person below you doesn't really know how to escape, you can probably go for the straight up. Hey, but if I'm sparring Jack, I know he knows he's going to move around. He's not going to let me armbar him. So he's going to, I'm thinking, I'm going to, you see how I am? I'm literally on top of him, and I fought here, grab his leg, and then we can armbar there. Now, there's more to discuss on that particular position, but I think that's a good place to start. Questions, what would you guys do? Yeah, okay. One question was, I saw one sort of confusion over which arm to get. Generally, if you go for the arm that's on top when they cross over, or even if they do this, the arm that's top, in theory, there's no resistance, right? If he puts the arm on top, there's resistance. But you will get people saying, oh, go for the top arm. But what I find this happens is when I go for the top arm, they crisscross the other arm on top of it, and now that's locked in. But my theory is you should be good enough, or these are baked, the technique is, there's enough baked into it to extract this arm even with that in. So we can test that. So when we're here, so we cross the arm, he's defending the arm. Here, we're bringing that in. Now I'm going to extend his neck a bit, and I'm going to sit on his belly. He's not going to give up on this cross arm, he wants this arm. And as we go here, we're putting in here. Now because his arm is locked in, this is as far as it gets for me, all right? So I can't do anything. And this is as far as my legs can go. However, what I can do is, he wants to get to his knee, so I'm kind of encouraging him to sit up here, and then when he gets up here, again, you can't see this, I'm going to check, spin around. Can't do that. So my arm was by the crook of his elbow, I'm going to move up to here, up to by his wrist, right? And he gets almost like he's on top of me, and then we extend there. And we do that. This is like super old school. This kind of stuff that you used to do. And stuff like that probably Roger would teach if he came here. Not at that amazing level, but you know what I mean. The theory is that I'm using two things to break open that arm. Right, so, and ideally you wouldn't want to get the arm that's crisscrossed on top, but more often than not they will either protect it in the first place, or he will protect it even if it was the arm on top. It doesn't affect me. Notice I do have to do a switcheroo. I'm using this arm because I want this arm on the floor first, because this helps him change. Now I switch here and go. I put this around here, and I think if I can extract the arm, brilliant. If not, it's probably not going to happen. I go down and I grab the leg here. If you keep that tight, RNC, nice and tight. Try and break it open. It's not quite working, so I let him come into me. Change the grip to up here. Now I have more the weak point here. And so it's just a matter of, now I can use my legs here. And then we've got the arm to go for the finish. So we just show that tiny bit again. We go to the RNC here. So I change the grip from here up to here. And then I don't use my arm, I use a little bit of my arm, but it's mainly straightening my legs. And we've got the armbar. You want to try that? I'll come around and help anyway, but I think that adds a little bit more to the game there of against somebody who's wriggling and trying to escape. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So I've gone from mount, I've turned into S mount, I've got my nice little thing here, and he's already fashioned his crossed arms. I think that's the way I'm going to go for anyway. I go here, trying to break it here, doesn't quite work. Now don't sit up this time. I'm going for this, but he's not sitting up, which means I don't have that bit of tension that I need. Here, oh God. Give up on this, because he's not going to sit up, he's only going to give you one. And we're here now. All right, now we have to start breaking apart the locked arms here, which is very, very hard to do. Now, ideally, for you, the defender, you wouldn't put your arm here, you would put it underneath here. All right? And if I didn't do anything, this is how he would escape. He would just literally sit up, get to his knees, sit up, and stack me, and then I'm here. Because his arm is underneath my hamstring here, and he would withdraw his arm. So if we have time, we'll go over that. Maybe not today, but maybe in a second hour. So we're here. And this alone is really hard to break down if you're just using linear force here. Even if I were to push something on the other side, it doesn't work because he's hooked his arms in really, really nice. We have to be a little bit more intelligent about how we do this. This, unfortunately, you can't figure out yourself. You just have to kind of learn how to do it. The problem with also with just using this is that this actually encourages him to sit up. So if you sit up, there you go. And I've lost the chance. You can get to your knees. I've lost the chance to walk underneath and attack the arm. He's already stacking me. And these are things to watch out for. So whilst there needs to be some linear pressure that way, not so much to the extent that you actually make him sit up. So you want to create a little bit of tension here. And I would encourage you to puff your chest out and do this. This makes you a little more stable. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move this here. You see that? That is already loose here. All right, and then we're going to put our hands there and we're going to grip break. Like that. So rather than pulling the arm out this direction, we're going to create a twisting action. It sort of goes like this. Like that. So here, the arm we want to use, I suppose it doesn't matter. It doesn't quite work the other way around. It just doesn't. You want to use the arm that's by the head. Remember I said the one that taps him on the head goes through, but we're just going to create a bit of space for our elbow here. So I move it down a bit. Insert the arm here. Were you here when my black belt friend Abby O'Toole was here? She taught this one. This is her favourite armbar break. She nicknamed herself Queen Armbar or something because she gets these hundreds of times. She still does in black belt competitions. And this is her favourite armbar break. So let's use what clearly works for her for our owners. Let's steal it from her, right? Here, move that down. Bring this one in here. I'm only doing this elaborately so you can see. In reality, it would just be like that. Right. And we're creating that crisscross palm to palm grip. You see what we do? Now Jack, hold on as much as you can, and rather than pulling backwards and twisting, you can't. Maybe as a wrist lock, but you can't sort of fight that sort of twisting action here. Does everyone can see that? Can you see that from over there? Can you see that from over there? From here. And it's so calm, it's so nice. There's no strength involved, it's just mechanical force. And then we've got that. Let's add a part 2 to this. Put this in your memory. That's the big one. That's the main one to remember, right? The part 2 is, I've got the arm free, and he panics and he grips his own palm, and now I'm in this time. This is the easy one. Okay, this one I like. This is the one that I'll show you my go-to. Here, we're going here, and again, I'm not using linear force that way. I'm going to his head because this is the weakest plane of movement here. Here. Now I've got the arm free for the armbar. Okay, so just quick recap. Starts off with the rear naked choke. Make sure, if you don't know how this position works, guys, make sure you see what Jack's doing, because your success as an armbar breaker depends on him being able to defend properly. He's doing this, okay? And his hand is under your hamstring. Swap the hand so that the hand that can pat him on the top of the head goes through first. Creep your fingers down so there's room between your elbow and your chest. And enter your own forearm so that you can attach to the outside of his elbow there. Grip, palm to ground. If you can't reach, because you've got short arms, he's got long arms, this is perfectly fine as well. Okay? Twist. Normally you can armbar from there, but say he panics, he grabs his own arm, you get back to the beginning. Except you're not. you're one stage higher up the food chain. This is easier to break than the previous one. Arm through. And just to reinforce my principle from before, just grab this thing, just so you mind yourself that you could reduce the angle if you wanted to. So I've made a big meal out of what is basically a very simple technique. The first one is the best one for you to do, but often what I find is when they break out the skin like that, you've got to break that apart. You want to use minimal energy and strength for maximum gain. That's the point of today's lesson. Okay, 1, 2,